I lived in the Netherlands for 14 months. And during those 14 months, I was introduced to a quality of life that I had never previously been exposed to. And I'm going to be honest with you. In the 3 months that I've been back here on American soil, I have gained an even more profound appreciation for the quality of life that the Netherlands offers. Now look, I'm not here to propagate this idea that the Netherlands is utopia by any means. It's not a perfect place, but it is unequivocally, in my opinion, a better place than the US. And this is for a multitude of different reasons that I've covered in many of my other videos. But one of those reasons that I don't think I've really touched on enough is the prevalence of amazing grocery stores. So if you've never been to the US and you don't know about the grocery stores that we have here, basically the two premier grocery stores that we have are Walmart and Target. Those are the generic big box chain grocery stores that most Americans go to. And while they do have their own benefits, I found that in my personal opinion and experience, Albert Heijn is simply better. And that was my preferred grocery store of choice in the Netherlands. I know a lot of Dutch people opt for Jumbo or other places like that because of the prices. But before we even get into this video that I'm about to react to, I'm gonna just spill the beans right now. Albert Heijn, which is, as far as I'm aware, the most expensive grocery store in the Netherlands, is still cheaper than Walmart and Target, which are two of the cheaper grocery stores here in the USA. So suffice to say that I do miss the prices, but also the quality of the food, and also just the technology that they have access to. But these are all things that I suspect the creator of this video will talk about. That said, let's go ahead and get into this reaction.
Take all that energy, put it into your career, you'd have done something.
You're talking about Star Trek again, huh?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It's an interesting intro.
We are arriving at Albert Heijn. A joyous time, as you can plainly see. It is packed. We didn't expect this. It is a holiday here in the Netherlands.
Listen, I need you to understand that the next time I go into Albert Heijn, I am going to be absolutely cheesing. You will see a smile on my face like you have never seen before, because I really, really miss Albert Heijn. I miss Albert Heijn because they have so many amazing vegan options for so cheap. And I don't know if I even mentioned this earlier, but I am vegan, which does play into why I choose to go to Albert Heijn. But they have so many vegan options there for a low price, and honestly, I really, really genuinely miss it. Thankfully, while we're here in the US, my parents have been covering most of the groceries, and I've been kind of chipping in here and there. I might take a grocery trip every week with my girlfriend and try to get her some of her stuff, things of that nature. But believe me when I tell you that even the little bit of groceries that I'm getting here hurt my pockets. They hurt my pockets because not only am I spending more per item, but the items are lower quality. But I'm just yapping now.
It is called Ascension Day.
Ascension Day.
And everyone is out and about.
So, first off, this bag is full of bags because you bring your own shopping bags with you.
Yep.
You can get a bag here, but it costs money. It's not good for the environment. So, yeah, everyone brings their own bags. And for the phone.
That's something that I noticed actually in most of the US. There are a few places where you have to pay extra for plastic bags, and then the plastic bags that you get tend to be lower quality. But in most of the US, and I say most because if you didn't know, my girlfriend and I just literally traveled across the US twice. But in most of the US, the bags are free and they're abundant. And honestly, this is something that I don't even think I talked about in any of those touring the USA vlogs, but I noticed that when they bag your groceries for you, which is something else I suspect they'll talk about in this video, is that in the Netherlands they don't do that. In the US they do. But when they bag your groceries for you, they'll literally put 1 or 2 items in a bag and then put 1 or 2 items in the next bag, and there's so much extra space there. And if I had to guess why they do this, it's probably because people complain oh, you're putting this item on top of this item, you're messing my items up, and I want a refund. Things of that nature, because of course Americans like to complain. Hey, what am I doing? I'm complaining about American grocery stores right now. But that is definitely something that I imagine if you're Dutch or if you're from Europe or much of the rest of the developed world, you'd probably be very shocked to see.
Phone, every grocery store has their own app with a digital savings card. And right now we're at Albert Heijn. We're lucky enough to be at the XL because that's closest to our house. So this is what I love about the grocery stores here. Number one, or number two, my savings card. So I'm gonna go over here and use the scanner.
Wait, hold on real quick. Hold on, I promise I'm not gonna pause the video every 30 seconds, but now that she mentions that, boom. Don't know if you can see that with the lighting, but this is an Albert Heijn bonus card. Basically, the way it works is after you scan all your groceries, you scan this, and I think you accumulate points or something like that. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I have any points accumulated or anything like that, but I do still have my Albert Heijn bonus card for when we go back to the Netherlands.
Scan it.
And what'd you just
Lights
do?
up. I scanned my card.
Okay.
It lights up green. This is the scanner I'm going to use today. And then I just put it right in the bag. And then when I'm done, I pay and I leave. We'll show you how we do that.
Each item as you pick it up.
Yeah. So I'll show you how we do it here. So
I
here
miss
we go.
that so much.
Let's go shopping.
Oh, you gotta have your schnitzel. Yeah, Mark doesn't use the scanner because he's old school. Sushi lane. Fresh
I miss
sushi.
those scanners so much. Those scanners, listen, I don't think people really understand from watching my videos how big of an introvert I am and how much I prefer to go throughout my day without interacting with people, if possible. I am a very big recluse, a very big introvert, which is why I like to film videos here in this bedroom. So having something like that scanner is not only very time efficient, but also as an introvert, just lessening the number of interactions that I have to undertake on a day-to-day basis. Really, really makes a difference in my quality of life.
The sushi here isn't that good.
The one great thing about the Netherlands is their bread. I mean, they have
One great thing. One of the great
one of the
things.
great. I said one of the great things. Their
forgot
bread
about
loaves
the
are
bread
huge,
there.
and as you can see, you're only paying €2.50 in America.
That's actually quite a bit, but you can get half loaves as well.
I'd have to, but this would cost you easily $6 in America.
Yeah.
But if you don't get here fairly early, this will be wiped clean by the end of the day, especially today.
Oh my gosh,
because
yes, that is one thing about Albert Heijn. I know I keep pausing the video, I apologize, but that is one thing about Albert Heijn. Because we tend to sleep late and wake up late, a lot of times we didn't really get to the grocery store until maybe an hour or two before closing, and maybe 50 to 60% of the time we would go there, we wouldn't be able to find the bread that we wanted, and that was incredibly frustrating, but it was our fault, because at least I didn't know that they bake the bread pretty much every day, if I'm not mistaken. It's fresh bread, so they don't really have a large quantity of it like they do here in the US, and the bread there generally isn't going to be stale like a lot of the bread here.
everybody's out and about.
It's all made here in house, and so by 5 p.m. everyone's got their bread because people buy and eat a lot of bread here. Tiger Chew is very popular. That one's 99 cents right now. Oh no,
cents.
no more maple pecans. Oh, the humanity. Wow, everyone's like eating everything up. Well, they had the 2-for on the fricandels. Darn it, fricandels were on sale, and everyone grabbed them all.
Those vegan
We also
freaking
have the
dobrojas.
eggs. This is another weird thing. They're not refrigerated here. They're
gosh,
actually
getting
put on the
flashbacks.
shelves. And I'll tell you what. So here, they don't wash the eggs. When the hen actually lays the egg, there's something called a bloom on it, or a cuticle, and what that is a protective coating that keeps the eggs fresh, so they don't go bad when the hen is sitting on them. So in America, they wash those off, which means they're no longer protected from bacteria, they're no longer sealed, that coating's gone. So they have to actually refrigerate the eggs in America. But here, everyone leaves them on the shelf and on their countertops because they don't have to worry about it. The eggs here are super fresh because this is a small country, so they're only a couple days old by the time they hit, and they do all have expiration dates on them that last for several weeks. So, woo! these meal kits are amazing. So they give you
Yes.
everything you need to make it, and they'll tell you if there's some ingredient that you still need to get. Like here, you need to get either tempeh or for a vegan option, or get for yourself chicken fillet and some sunflower oil. And then you can make this. So this is a lot cheaper, and it feeds a family of 4 or 2. They'll tell you 2 to 3 persons, etc.
This right here, I think, is one of the biggest differences, is that in the Netherlands, and I suspect in much of Europe, I don't know if the government necessarily subsidizes this, but it feels like just collectively the stores, the businesses want people to eat healthier, and they price their items accordingly, because you'd be hard pressed to find something like this in the US for this kind of price, especially at a big box grocery store like Walmart or Target. And even if you do, the quality of the food is going to be inferior.
And a lot of them are exotic, like they're ethnic foods. There's yakisoba, there's pito gyros, Tex-Mex burritos. You've got your carbonaro, gnocchi, teriyaki, nasi, couscous salad, Mexican yakitori bowl, jambalaya. Ooh.
They have jambalaya there? That's crazy. I would not have expected them to have jambalaya at Albert Heijn. If you don't know, I was originally born in Louisiana, so I know all about jambalaya. My mom still makes it to this day. Vegan jambalaya, that is. So that's crazy. I will say a lot of people don't really understand, especially Americans. Americans don't really understand how multicultural the Netherlands actually is. One of the main questions I always get from Americans is, are there black people there? It's like, yes, there are, but they're usually black people from places like Suriname or the ABC Islands, so on and so forth. So just the overall exposure to different ethnicities than I ever really encountered growing up in the US, that was one of the most fascinating parts of being in the Netherlands for me.
Jambalaya. A whole lot of them here. They got piri piri, and you got Thai, you got Indian.
Now, one thing you notice about these red peppers, they're so much less expensive here than they are in the U.S.
Yeah, you get 3 right now for €1.70.
And they last a lot longer.
It's a great deal.
So you just find it on there. It's 2 for $3, so you don't need to worry about the weight. Yeah. Okay, and then you just scan it, and it gives you the bonus on there.
That sound right there, that sound just brought back a flood of nostalgia. I need to hear that one more time.
Okay, and then you just scan it, and it gives you the bonus on there. And then you just stick it on one of them and put them in your bag.
Crazy.
Perfect.
They really love their like mayonnaise-based salads here.
Honestly, I feel like the Netherlands doesn't get enough credit for the variety of things that they have at these grocery stores, especially Albert Heijn. And especially when it comes to the vegan options, I mean, you can see anything with this green label right here, this dark green label, is going to be vegan. So that right there, I think that people always associate that with the US. The US has that, but a lot of times it's for items that nobody really cares to buy. But when it comes to things like hummuses and what's it called? Tzatziki, something like that. It's this thing my girlfriend likes. I feel like they do have a pretty good variety of those kinds of things. But it's also
a borrel is the
XL.
Dutch excuse to grab a drink, snack on something, and be gezellig with your friends and coworkers. Basically, it's a happy hour, but quite Dutch, and a bit of a ritual in our household. We like to have a borrel at home to unwind at the end of our day. It took us a while to even figure out that the grocery stores actually do carry liquor. You'll find a secret door right near the cash registers. You just have to ring a bell like you're in on a secret handshake.
We're back. One thing we wanted to point out to you guys that every grocery store has the can and bottle exchange.
Yep.
So if you buy beer, soda, they have these little machines in the back, and you simply return it for the deposit. Deposit's 15 cents, I believe. Yep, 15 cents. And you just simply enter them into the opening. I don't know if you're gonna
That's a very Dutch thing. Just pulling up to the store with your bag full of cans and jars and things like that.
This, maybe they don't.
I think they do.
Yeah, they do, okay. And then it'll tell you. They'll tell you if they're not gonna take it, they'll say, that they don't return it here. And once you're done, there's no more, you simply press the bunk nut button. Okay, and you get here's your slip that comes out, and it is discounted off of whatever groceries you get. This is a total of 75 cents.
Try to focus in it. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm all done shopping. So this is what I'm going to do. Again, there's a lot of people here because it's a holiday. Okay. Just put it in the rack. And then over here.
I
Now,
literally
they might
love
check
this
me
so
because
much.
you'll see leaf tide control just because I got alcohol. Sometimes they'll also check they'll do random checks on people's.
Side note, but I love the way they're pronouncing some of these words. I know my pronunciation is definitely not very good myself, but it's always interesting to see how Americans take the English or American English phonetics and apply it to Dutch language, because it doesn't work that way. It definitely does not work that way. And here in the near future, I'm actually going to film a video where I try speaking a little more Dutch just to show you where I'm at so that you can make fun of me as well.
Well, just make sure you're staying honest. But go to this, you scan it. So after you scan your number, you just hit pin it. And then I love this little animation. You do portable, and broop. That's it. So you just put it in the deck, scan your card, scan your pay card, get your receipt, and you go. And this is why you need this. Because
I just turned it off.
okay.
Smile, put mine through.
So this is
That one looks like it was in some sort of mall or something though. The ones that I went to usually were standalone buildings, if I recall correctly. But they would also have an Atos or a Kruidvat or something like that in the store, which was very, very convenient, by the way.
the 60 euro haul. I got
That's
fresh
not bad.
food, we got some frozen eggs, 3 bottles of wine, 2 bags of chips, some popcorn. This is junk food day, I guess. I got a bunch of stuff for boils and salads, cheese, all Kalamata.
Go back. This right here. They always have the 3 for $5 going on at Albert Heijn. If you know, you know. But you can always get these small cups of the sliced fruit, the pre-sliced fruit, for €5 for 3 of them. Which, it's still probably not the greatest deal. It's always going to be cheaper to just get it and slice it yourself. But if you're lazy like me, then that's a pretty good deal. Because here in the US, they absolutely tax for that sliced fruit. If you're American, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they're always sticky. They are always sticky no matter what. So that's definitely something that I enjoyed about being in the Netherlands.
Cheese, all Kalamata olives, watermelon, pineapple, pomegranate seeds. Got trash bags for the compost.
A lot of fresh food here.
Chorizo. This was almost €4. That one was more expensive. Cheese, broodje, lasagna. Yep, 2 avocados, gyoza, ice cream cones. So that's €60 right there.
That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That same haul here in the US would have been about $100, just off the top of my head. About $100, give or take. When we were doing the van life thing, we were primarily subsisting off of canned food for dinner. I was doing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch literally every day. My girlfriend was doing tuna and crackers, saltine crackers. For breakfast, I had these vegan protein breakfast bars, and she would have Greek yogurt. And I want to say I was spending around 70 or 80 on those grocery trips on average. A lot of that was because of the protein bars that probably added up to about 35 per haul for a week's worth of them. But for canned food, and we're talking store brand canned food, that's pretty ridiculous. So believe me when I tell you, if you're Dutch, I know a lot of people said, oh, Jumbo is cheaper, or Aldi is cheaper, or all of these other places. I promise you, Albert Heijn is not that bad, especially if you're vegan. I feel like if you're vegan, Albert Heijn is actually about the same, because we literally compared it for ourselves when we were in Fasten. They had a Jumbo and an Albert Heijn next to each other. We went in both stores and did the price comparisons for the same items, and it was literally the same. But suffice to say that if you live in the Netherlands, do not take any of this for granted.